Tesla offers massive discount on inventory in Singapore. January 11, 2023. With dwindling sales in Asia, Tesla is again trying to appeal to prospective customers with lower prices. This time in Singapore, a country notorious for its massive car taxes. According to Reuters, Tesla will offer up to $10,000 in discounts on Model 3 and Model Y units in existing inventory, as well as a free wall connector for charging for buyers who have a place for home installation. The buyer still has to pay for the cost of installation. However, the $10,000 price cut is made up of a $5,000 discount offered for customers who trade in an existing internal combustion engine car, and a $5,000 credit against the cost of the certificate to operate a car in Singapore. Before applying Tesla's discount, a Model Y in Singapore starts at $91,990, but this is without the taxes associated with owning a car in the Southeast Asian country. After these are taken into account, the price skyrockets to $142,601, so a reduction of $10,000 represents just 7% of the total cost. In China, Tesla experienced disappointing sales in December, with a 44% slowdown in shipments compared to November. Although year-over-year, the American EV manufacturer saw an increase of more than 50%. This slowdown in shipments prompted Tesla to cut prices in China by as much as 13.5% in an attempt to boost sales. A move that angered customers who ordered their cars before the company announced its new pricing strategy. According to Clean Technica, Tesla was the best-selling EV brand in Singapore in the September-November period of 2022, with a total volume of 367 units, which again goes to show just how strong the country's grip on controlling the car population is. Of the 367 cars sold, 315 were Model Is and 52 were Model 3s. On a global scale, Tesla delivered just over 405,000 cars in the fourth quarter of 2022, with last year's total coming to 1,313,851 cars. Source: reposted and summarized from Julian Nystrom at InsideEVS.com. My take: Tesla's margins are so high that they can offer any discount they want and still make a profit. Elon Musk's new second-in-command won him over working late hours. January 11, 2023. There is definitely a culture of pushing employees to their limits at Tesla, and it seems to extend to the company's higher-ups, not just assembly line workers. Zhu Xiaotong, who also goes by Tom Zhu, was picked by Elon Musk to be his second-in-command specifically because of his commitment to keep Tesla's Shanghai Gigafactory operational through the worst of the COVID pandemic. Tesla has not officially announced Zhu as a new global boss, but according to sources including Automotive News and Reuters, he is already overseeing the automaker's international production operations, as well as sales and service. This essentially puts him right behind Elon Musk when it comes to the level of responsibility within the company, which he will now help lead from Austin, Texas, where he arrived late last year. Zhu joined Tesla in early 2014 in order to help the automaker expand its supercharger network. But by the end of his first year with the company, he was promoted to the position of manager of the manufacturer's China operations. Then in the latter part of 2019 he was promoted to Global Vice President and President of Greater China. As of July 2022, he became the boss of Tesla's entire Asia-Pacific side of the business. This is also when Elon Musk praised him for working long hours to make sure Tesla production in China remained online in spite of the severe pandemic-related restrictions and lockdowns that had been imposed in the country at the time. Musk was quoted as saying that he appreciates Zhu for burning the 3 a.m. oil, referring to his commitment to stay late in order to ensure production continued. Zhu is not one to stay in constant contact with the press, not even in China, but there are a handful of interviews online, mostly in Chinese, where he does share about himself and his role at Tesla. In an interview with PC Auto, he remarked that the company's culture is not to waste resources and time on those fancy and nonsense things. Focus your main energy and resources into what really matters. We don't have a huge administrative organization here to service the management. Book tickets by yourself. Grab your food by yourself. Everybody is very used to it. This is an expression of true equality. Right. Source: reposted and summarized from Andre Nedelier at InsideEVS.com. My take: Zhu has earned his promotion as he has Tesla China ticking along very well. Investing in EV stock. Is Tesla or GM the better investment? January 11, 2023. Tesla is currently the dominating force in the growing electric vehicle market. Just as legacy automakers like General Motors are starting to invest heavily in an electrified future. For retail investors keen to get ahead of the burgeoning market, the choice between GM and Tesla's stock may be a difficult one. Seeking Alpha's Mirko Lysek recently looked at GM and Tesla's stocks side by side in an attempt to determine which one is a better pick for investors. Using in-depth fundamental analyses, Lysek explains a few separate models for the auto stocks, detailing each company's structure, stock performance in recent years, future potential valuation and overall risk factors. It's worth looking at Lysek's in-depth arguments in full over at Seeking Alpha. But for the sake of this article, we'll focus primarily on a few takeaways for each company. Despite weak performance across autos, Lysek points out that the industry is facing its biggest disruption since gas cars were introduced, meaning that it could be a time full of opportunity for patient investors. However, GM will need to address massive debts and improve EV profitability to continue competing with Tesla. Meanwhile, Tesla only broke even on its operating margin in 2019. Since growing significantly in profitability, almost doubling that of GM's most recent margin. Lysek points out that GM's overdependence on internal combustion engine ICE vehicles is currently limiting its growth, splitting the automaker's focus between its ICE business and its EV business even in the face of increasing EV competition. Alternatively, Tesla can concentrate on what it already does, building an EV-only lineup, while competition slowly ramps up. Interestingly, both companies are viewed by Seeking Alpha's quant rating system as having an A+ in profitability. Tesla is ranked with a D in valuation and D in momentum, while gaining favorable B and A ratings in revisions and growth, respectively. GM, on the other hand, was given a C in valuation and a B in momentum by the index, in addition to an A in revisions and a D in growth. Following financial analyses looking at free cash flow, debt and estimated future valuation factors, Lysek reiterates that the rating system has given Tesla a hold rating over the past few years, with the company in 13th out of 33 auto manufacturers on the index. During the same time period, GM bounced back and forth between strong buy and hold positions, more recently being ranked 9th out of the 33 in the index and being given a hold once again. Still, Tesla's grasp on the EV market and future growth factors may make it the better pick. According to Lysek, while Tesla is the pure player in EVs, leading the US market, GM is heavily investing in its EV fleet and both companies are facing increasingly strong competition from local but also international manufacturers. Lysek wrote, "From an investor's point of view, it's important to consider the company's ability to create value for its shareholders, while minimizing the risks. And in those terms, Tesla offers a better profile. While there's no way to know how Tesla or GM's stock will perform in the coming years, Lysek says he chooses Tesla because of its future opportunities and overall financial strength. Still, he also notes significant barriers due to the auto industry's currently unfavorable downtrend, adding that he'll wait for some of this to clear up before making any substantial investments into the sector." Source: reposted and summarized from Avanex at InsideEVS.com. My take: this is a no-brainer. Tesla is going to the moon while GM is going bust. Tesla Model Y AWD with 4680 battery cells now available. January 11, 2023. You can't yet configure your own Model Y with 4680 cells on Tesla's website. But the US electric automaker has added a number of copies with all-wheel drive to its online inventory. Tesla announced its proprietary 4680 battery cells a few years ago at Battery Day. CEO Elon Musk noted shortly before the festivities that the cells would appear in vehicles for some time. That said, Tesla has been producing the cells on a pilot line and working to perfect the new manufacturing techniques so that it can start using them in its cars. When the first Tesla Model Y crossovers were delivered out of Tesla's newest factory, Giga, Texas, many assumed that all Model Ys coming from the factory would be fitted with the new structural battery pack and 4680 cells. It didn't take long to learn that wasn't going to be the case. Tesla did offer a version of the Model Y with 4680 cells, though it was only locally available for a very limited time. Now, a new all-wheel drive version has shown up in Tesla's online inventory. According to Tesla RT, it appears the new Model Y was first discovered and reported on social media by the Kilowatts. Tesla promised that the 4680 cells would mean more power and increase range and longevity. The company also shared that using the cells and structural battery packs would streamline the manufacturing process and lead to lower prices. While the new Model Y AWD with 4680 cells is $2,000 less expensive than the current base model, the Model Y long-range AWD with 2170 cells, the former also has significantly less range. Whereas the long-range version with 2170 cells has an EPA estimated driving range of 330 miles. The new 4680 cell Model Y has just 269 miles of range. According to earlier reports that surfaced based on details from the EPA's certificates of conformity. Tesla will likely release both long-range and performance versions of the Model Y equipped with 4680 cells. While there are very few 4680 cell Model Y crossovers in the wild, Tesla's senior VP of powertrain Drew Baglino has already put about 10,000 miles on his personal copy. We'll have to wait and see if and when Tesla makes Model Y SUVs with 4680 cells available in its online configurator. It will also be interesting to see the range and pricing of the long-range and performance versions. They should have more range and cost less. But based on the price and range of this newest example, it's difficult to know what to expect. Source: reposted and summarized from Stephen Loveday at InsideEVS.com. My take: very soon the 4680s will be in all Teslas.